Hello, hello, hello. This is Goddess Raven, and this is Sipping It Up with Goddess Raven. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Whew, click that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you get my next video. Now let's get into this. I was running around. I was running around before I started the video. Oh boy. So HIV positive Nashville softball player, 41, is jailed for 6 years for having sex with dozens of women without telling them he was infected, as police appeal for more victims to come forward. Danny C. Perry, the second, 41, was sentenced to 6 years in jail for exposing others to HIV. Prosecutors say the Nashville native may have exposed dozens of women by having sex with them without disclosing he has HIV. A woman in the softball league pressed charges against Perry after she contracted HIV. And when she confronted him, he played dumb. She discovered a series of private messages on his Facebook account that revealed he had had sex with as many as 19 women in the last 2 years. A probe found Perry received medical treatment for HIV all the way in 2009. At his sentencing, one of Perry's ex-girlfriend came forward, testified he gave her HIV in 2003. So this goes even further back. It's a felony to have HIV, to be HIV positive, and have sex with someone without disclosing that you have the virus. This is ridiculous. So Danny C. Perry II, 41 years old, pleaded guilty last week in Nashville to HIV exposure and was sentenced to 6 years in prison for transmitting the incurable virus on September 30th. Davidson County Criminal Court Judge Steve found Perry guilty of a felony charge of criminal exposure of another to HIV and handed him the maximum jail sentence for the offense. Now, police, prosecutors, and two of Perry's victims are urging women to come forward. Whoever had sex with this man to come forward and go get themselves tested, because he was having sex with a lot of women out there unprotected. So Metro Police and the District Attorney Office say that they are pursuing additional charges against Perry if more of his partners come forward. Perry was a warehouse worker living in Tennessee and was active in Nashville's adult softball leagues for years. Mr. Perry is a predator. They're calling him a predator. Kate Boston, the Davidson County Assistant District Attorney who prosecuted him, says, and we're here for any victim who have the strength and courage to come forward. We want them to know we'll support them no matter what the circumstances, she says. The prosecutor also says, there are likely dozens of women in Tennessee and other southern states who Perry exposed to HIV. A woman in the softball league pressed charges against Perry after she contracted the HIV. And when she confronted him, he feigned surprise and said he had nothing troubling in his medical history. So he denied it. Prosecutors say Perry was married when he infected his fellow softball league friend, and didn't use a condom when having sex with her. The friend, who asked not to be identified in court documents, said Perry never told her about having HIV. He made no mention of it. In September 2016, she called Perry to say that she tested positive for HIV, and he acted like he was surprised and concerned. In between multiple HIV tests, she asked Perry if there was anything he should tell her regarding his medical history, and he texted back, no. However, an investigation showed Perry had received medical treatment for HIV since at least 2009, according to Detective Kevin Wills of the Metro Police Sex Crime Unit. The victim discovered a series of private messages on Perry's Facebook account that revealed he had had sex with at least 19 women in 2 years. He knowingly infected someone with HIV, knowing that he had it, knowing that he could prevent it by taking his medication and by using other forms of protection during their relationship, and he chose nothing. And he chose to be reckless with other people's lives. Perry lawyer Bobby says Perry apologized to the victim during the sentence hearing, but apologies ain't shit. You can't, now this woman has HIV for the rest of her damn life. He was very contrived at the sentencing hearing. He got sentenced and he's doing his time. So this ain't this don't seem like no real apology. But one of the women, I think her name is Marvel Lynn Brown of Nashville, testified saying he gave her the HIV in 2003. Now Brown now lives in New York and is an HIV and AIDS activist who wrote the best-selling book The Naked Truth in 2008, in which he referred to the man who infected her as Prince Charming. Prince Charming is Perry. So on her social media, she writes, "Today was the hardest day of my life. I had to give a witness testimony in the state of Tennessee versus Danny Perry, aka Prince Charming. I wore a red dress and lipstick because the AIDS awareness ribbon is red and I wanted to feel sexy and confident. I am happy to report that he was given the max of 6 years and is a registered sex offender now. His lawyer asked, could he get 30 days to report the judge. The judge said no today. So Danny Perry, F you. Don't drop the soap. The state calls Brown to the stand. Y'all seen his face? Surprise, bitch. She ain't got to worry about him dropping no soap because ain't nobody trying to F him and he got HIV up in the damn prison. So his ass is one asshole that's gonna be safe. One of Perry's ex. I'm just saying, HIV. It's just sad. It's a felon to be HIV positive and have sex with someone else without telling them first that you have the virus. So now they're offering Perry's sex partners are asked to call the Metro Police Sex Crime Unit, and they have the phone number at 615-862-7540. Now y'all tell me what y'all think. You know what? I think this should be practice from now on. And if it isn't in practice already, you should always ask about each other's, sexual history. Y'all should both always have an up to date paperwork stating you're clean and stating your status before effing anyone. Because there's too many things running loose from COVID to AIDS to HIV to chlamydia to gonorrhea to crabs to bubonic plague. You got so much stuff out here running loose. Give me my paperwork. Show me your paperwork that you are not effing nobody, and I will show you my paperwork. And I'm not doing nothing, and we can do whatever. But until then, and even when we do something, we're going to do it with a condom and a whole bunch of other stuff. Because I'm telling you, I don't want nothing. I'm starting to think, man, it is better to be in a relationship so then you ain't got to worry about it. But then you still got to worry about that because this man was married and he was still out there giving people diseases. Y'all comment below and tell me seriously, y'all, what y'all think about this story, man. Whew. All right.